Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. Today I'm going to be cracking open this LDY case here, which from the title and thumbnail you already know what's in it, but I kind of don't. I know it's an Anser, but I don't know exactly what that Anser looks like, and that is kind of the reason that I'm recording it. Usually I will open a package just to make sure the Balisong looks good in there, but this one I think part of the reaction is going to be what the Balisong looks like. Because I've flipped an Anser before, and I've reported to you guys in both the Blade Show recap video and the long-form Blade Show recap video that I did with Bally Unk or Scott, that I tried the Anser, it's great, but I haven't had any alone time with it. And like I always mention, flipping something outside of Blade Show is very different to flipping it in Blade Show. So I'm very excited to check out the Anser. Before we begin, LDY did send this over for the purpose of this video and my follow-up video that I will make. Any and all opinions presented are my own. They've not told me what to say or anything to say about it, nor do I have any other financial affiliation with them, so no discount links or sponsor codes or anything like that. So, unfortunately, the Anser in going on their official website doesn't really have a lot of info about it. Just things like that it has an iconic sandwich construction, an adjustable weight system, a close to neutral balance, and just over 4 ounces for a solid premium feel. So I don't really know exactly what's going on there. I do know that it's made out of grade 5 titanium handles. It's on bushings. I honestly don't even think I could tell you what the blade steel is, unless there's another page that I'm missing. So if anyone knows information like that, let me know, and I will include it in the follow-up video. But let's get the Anser out. The Anser, of course, the iconic collaboration between LDY and the wonderful Will Hirsch of Balisong YouTube fame. Here's what came in my box. I hope it's what comes in yours. I've heard people say that they get different unboxing experiences from LDY. But I'm assuming that's just because different products come in different things. I don't know. We've got the typical microfiber cloth, some of their Band-Aids, their wonderful bit set, extra pins, washers, screws, barrels, and bushings. Wonderful to see. And we have, oh, here's all of the details right here. Awesome. So we've got the LDY XWH, or Will Hirsch, as we can see on the back here. Let me just... There's nothing to grip onto. Wow, that's like, what the heck? Okay, we're just gonna rip that off. Wonderful Anser, I guess, certification card, or what do you call these? Certificate of authenticity. The blade steel is S35VN. Handle material is TI6AL. Oh my goodness. TI6AL-4V. I'm not gonna read all of that. Sandwich design with adjustable weight system. Full specifications at ldybalisong.net. I wasn't able to find it. Maybe I missed it. But besides all that, we also have the Balisong itself, which I'm unbelievably excited to check out. I did tell them, they did ask me what kind of version I wanted, what colors and stuff like that. I'm hoping they remembered because it was quite a while ago. But let's take a look, shall we? Oh my goodness, they did. That looks really, really nice. So I asked them specifically, if you watched my live streams a long while back, there was a specific period where I talked a lot about having a teal to green fade with gold highlights. And I have never had the chance or the ability, or I guess the desire, because none of my Balisongs are really a good fit for this color scheme. Maybe this one now, or maybe the Kuno now that I have that one. But I haven't forgotten about that, and I still have wanted a Balisong that looks like that. And so I said, hey, you guys have one on your website that looks just like that. I kind of want something that looks like that. So they delivered. This is beautiful. And I'm actually happy to report it's not the polished one. I was a little worried it was going to be the polished one, because that would have been a nightmare to keep clean. But that is beautiful. There's even some purples inside, like the teal up here, which I'm assuming is just an artifact of the voltage that they have to use for the teal, but wow, that thing is beautiful. So this is Will's kind of magnum opus collab so far. Of course, he's got the Vault and the Vault Pro and the Vault 360, but this is like a full titanium $400. Like this is Will going all out, at least from what we've seen of him so far. Who knows? Maybe he'll go out more in the future. But as far as going all out, this is really, really cool. So the Anser, I thought I wasn't going to like. I've talked about this a little bit before. Will's balance profile is much more handle biased than I usually enjoy. And so, actually, I've flipped this before, so I'm just going to start flipping it because I've already given you guys some of my initial impressions of it. First of all, got a little bit of like a high-pitched ding to it. Sounds very, very nice. Is this thing sharp? Very awesome. It's a terrifying LDY razor. So I thought it was going to be a bit too handle biased for me because that's usually what Will's preference leans towards. A lot of his most favorite ballad songs in his collection, I flipped and was like, they're cool, very cool, but not to my preference. And the Anser really surprised me because it was really to my preference. And I think that comes down to the adjustable weight system. I believe Will said that the default is 1 pin out of 2 installed out of the box, but don't quote me on that. And it makes for an incredibly, incredibly nice experience. The Anser feels amazing. In terms of the quality of the titanium, the finish on it, it's just very smooth yet grippy. It's not like a super slippery kind of smooth. It's a very grippy kind of smooth without going all the way into being like polished. And I love it. The grip is great. It fans really nice. It rollovers really nice. You will have to excuse, I know sometimes, at least when I watch people review ballad songs, you can kind of tell how good it flips based on how well they're flipping compared to how they normally flip. Because sometimes when a ballad song really doesn't agree with someone's preferences, you can tell that they're kind of struggling to flip it. And you might be looking at this saying, hey, he's kind of struggling to flip that. I genuinely have not like sat down and flipped in the last week and a half, in case you couldn't tell from my upload schedule. And making my first dedicated flipping session an LDY Anser with a razor edge on it probably wasn't the smartest idea, but we're going to go ahead. So if you notice a little bit of discomfort in my flipping, that's probably why. I'm hoping to have some of my normal confidence back by the time I make a follow-up on this guy, but this thing is beautiful. One of my favorite features of this thing that I didn't even realize was a feature until Will pointed it out is that this area right here, you can see kind of this faux hourglass shape, not faux, this light hour, I don't know what I'm trying to say. It looks like an hourglass, but it obviously isn't because it isn't shaped like one in the, can you tell I haven't recorded in a while? The kind of hourglass shape up here is actually meant to be like a worry stone. I actually am kind of unfamiliar with what a worry stone is, but I believe it's some kind of like fidget or something that you keep in your pocket and you kind of just rub your finger along, and it's soothing to some people, I guess, which is super cool. It's nice to have a little extra fidget feature on a ballad song, which is already a very fidgety item. Oh my goodness, don't do that. Okay. All right. So the Will Hirsch Anser tried to kill me. That's the clickbait thumbnail and title of the year. No. It feels great. I really like for first solo impressions, not at Blade Show. I like how it flips. Probably one of my more favorite live blades from LDY lately. Just because the Series V4 I wasn't a huge fan of. The 4.5 did feel better when I flipped it at Blade Show, but I wasn't sure if I would come home and try it on my own and that would change a little bit. Because I don't know if they made a ton of changes to the 4.5 compared to the 4. What other LD? I guess the Kite V 1.5 or V2 or whatever that was very, very good. But LDY's more expensive knives, I don't typically enjoy a ton. I do like the Corvus, but I've liked it less and less every time I've tried it since. And the Vixen was never really my thing. That's more of a heavy titanium handle biased experience. This kind of brings it back around to being a little bit more light, a little bit more agile. The fans feel good without sacrificing rollovers. I'm feeling a little bit of a wobble in the fans, that it feels like it kind of doesn't want to do it 100%. So I'm going to have to see how that goes. The choker fans especially, it might be because these are wide handles. They're wider than they are tall, so they're not exactly square. They're rectangular. But I'm feeling quite a bit of hesitation from the Balisong on the choker fans. I don't know if that's because I'm not used to the handle shape or if that's balance related, so that's something that I will have to speak on in the follow-up video. Otherwise, my biggest complaint so far, just from this small flipping session, is these Zen cups. I don't know why companies keep doing it. Some of us have small fingers and they go right up to that Zen cup. So when I chaplain this thing, my finger is basically rotating and rubbing across this area right here, which is not very comfortable. I also, oh my gosh, it says Ethan S35VN. That's awesome. On the blade spine too. That's one of the most unique places I think LDY has put one of their little custom engravings. I guess you can't do it on the inside of the channel like they normally do here. That is awesome. A truly unique Ethan knife. This is like my favorite color scheme on a Balisong, so the fact that it has my name on it is pretty cool. Anyway, I got totally distracted. Those Zen cups, I don't know why companies keep doing it, but you know, my finger is resting. You can see right on that corner there, which is much less comfortable than the rest of the blade spine. Also, this up here, in case you're wondering, is not sharp. It's just a thinner area to give that kind of look right there. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. This also doesn't seem to have a crowned spine. It is just a chamfered spine. So even if your finger doesn't rest down there, there might be a little bit of discomfort up there. It's not the most uncomfortable chaplain I've ever felt because it is chamfered enough to make it not awful, but I can tell that over multiple days of flipping this and only this, it would fatigue my finger quite heavily, I think. Otherwise, no major complaints with grip or rollover base tricks. I'm kind of getting my groove back, as you can see. It carries momentum excellently. Sounds really nice and looks really nice. I'm a huge fan of this blade. I don't know if it's like a leaf shape, but it kind of has that kukri curve to it. And I love it. If you told me that Will would make a Balisong that looks like this, because Will is a certified Bowie lover, I wouldn't have believed you. This thing looks excellent. The downward slope on the top tip, combined with the fact that this part of the edge kind of sticks down from the rest of it, I believe you would classify that as kind of like a leaf shape, but I'm not up to date and well versed in my blade shape, so I can't really speak to that any more than that. Choker fans are feeling a little bit better as I get used to it. The other thing I want to know about is jimping. It is positive jimping, thank you LDY. But unfortunately, there's no jimping on the inside, and I don't know why companies keep doing this. Because if there's jimping on this side and there's no jimping on this side, my finger's going to slip off of this, so there might as well be no jimping. At least that's how I always see it. Thankfully, the grip on the actual titanium here is good enough that it's not the most noticeable, but I can tell you for a fact it's all down to that grip on the titanium rather than the fact that there is jimping over here. I can barely feel that I'm holding on to this in the first place. But all for the price of, I think these were $500 around there for like the custom ones. And now, yes, they're selling the second production, which I think is just silver, like raw titanium, for $390. For $390, this is cracking price for titanium and S35VN. This is kind of the new Sliff T, although the thing that made the Sliff T cool was that it was made right here in America by a small company. LDY does have the Chinese manufacturing buff applied to them, but still can't deny that it's a great deal. because wow, it flips really well for 390. So I think I've yapped at you guys long enough. Huge thank you to LDY and Will, I'm assuming he had some part in sending me one, for sending me an Anser. I do appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to go spend some time with this thing. I'm actually going to throw it in my pocket to go help a friend move, so I'll get some real world EDC experience with it right after I open it, so that'll be pretty cool. But I'll come back with an update video letting you guys know my full thoughts and whether or not I think that you should buy one of these things if you've been interested, because they've been dropping them fairly regularly. So I don't think they're like ridiculously hard to get, but the drops have been selling out very quickly. So if you do want one, you might have to break out the old ways of setting an alarm for a Balisong drop. Anyway, huge thank you to you guys, to Will, to LDY, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Blade bias Anser out. It is a blade bias Anser. It's got the blue and the green. That's really cool. I don't know where the gold fits in. Oh, it's the Bally Awards. It's the blade bias and the Bally. Okay, I'm done. Bye.